When it comes to newaza, it's typically the Japanese women that dominate, especially in the big matches. In the case of a judoka like Hamada Shori, she was able to win the Olympics by using newaza in each and every match. Often when you see an international judoka attacking the Japanese women with their ground attacks, it's a bit like someone trying to solve a Rubik's Cube with a blindfold on. In this reenactment of Little Red Riding Hood, Momo Tamaoki shows that she's not a turtle, she's a wolf. However, the topic for this video is times that international judokas did submit or choke out Japanese women's judo team members. Megumi Horikawa, here competing under her maiden name Tsugane, is going to represent Japan at the World Championships in the under-63s. She'll be glad that the Russian team aren't invited to the Worlds this year. Christa Deguchi now competes for Canada, but back in 2013 she was representing Japan, and she was defeated in the final of the Tokyo Grand Slam by Marti Molloy. Molloy also has an armbar victory over Kaori Matsumoto. Now here's Shiho Tanaka taking on Bernholm. Tanaka is the 70 kilo representative for Japan at the upcoming World Championships. In this match, she went after Bernholm on the ground, looked to apply an arm lock. It included a little bit of wrist lock pressure. And look, just see how much bend in the arm of Bernholm. Very much a case of, can you bend it like Bernholm? Now the wrist lock's illegal in judo, so there was a penalty given. I'm sure it comes in handy on an overly frisky first date. Now this move where she rips off her opponent's judo gi, also not so useful in judo, but I'm sure it livens things up on a second date. And this match ended with Bernholm transitioning to juji-gatame in a follow-up from sumi-gaeshi attack, and extended the arm and submitted Tanaka. Another judoka to get beaten in front of her home Tokyo crowd was Kaori Matsumoto, who lost to Rafaela Silva at the end of 2015. But in 2016, Tsukasa Yoshida faced off against Rafaela Silva, and Yoshida was able to submit Rafaela with juji-gatame, and it was Rafaela that was left laying on the mat, just like Matsumoto had been the previous year. Now here's Clarisse of France, the number one in the 63 kilo division, taking on Miku Tashiro and taking her out using a variation of the Gerbi choke. This one, I'm not sure whether she was grabbing the collar or just her hands. IJF listed that one as kata te jime. So this is an example of the Gerbi choke, where you use the bottom of your opponent's lapel. Clarisse certainly didn't use the bottom of her lapel. So this is Yarden Gerbi of Israel in the World Championships semi-finals, submitting Abe of Japan, and it was a very satisfactory victory for Yarden Gerbi because it was revenge from a very brutal juji-gatame loss. Just look at how much this arm is extended. It gets extended way past the 180 degree level. So that was only 3 months before Gerbi came back and beat Abe in the semi-finals of the Worlds, and then beat Clarisse with the same choke. If you want to see that choke on Clarisse, it's in my top 10 strangles using the legs. So just looking at the torque on the arm, I'm really surprised that Gerbi was able to come back so strong just 3 months later. Now another judoka that defeated Yarden Gerbi was Miki Tanaka, and we'll have a look at Miki Tanaka's juji-gatame win. So there's a failed Uchimata attempt. So Tanaka pulls guard, takes the arm away from the body and quickly gets a submission. And it seems like the Israeli judo team were pretty impressed with this one, as Miki Tanaka is now a coach of the Israeli judo team. Now here's man against woman. Flavio Canto training with a Japanese woman. Her name is Oyoshi. She's from one of the corporate teams, JR Higashi Nihon, JR East Japan. I'm not sure if she's represented Japan at the international level. Flavio Canto was able to beat her with juji-gatame. So a tall girl here, Oyoshi. Flavio Canto's 179 centimeters. Yuki Yokosawa, the Athens silver medalist, and she was choked unconscious by La Rizza of France. If you know any other cases, let me know in the comments. The idea for this video came from watching Judo Highlights video looking at Newaza losses of Olympic team men. For example, Aaron Wolf losing by juji-gatame. If you want me to do a video with some extra men's submissions, let me know.
横澤、ユキ敗れました。勝ったのはフランスのラリッツァ。